Am I the only one who gets really excited about starting brand new series? It's like a little rush of dopamine every time that happens, and then I kind of forget to finish the series that I already started? Is that just a me thing? Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Tori, and today we're going to talk about my priority series going into the next year or two of reading. Now, in order to keep myself a little bit on track, I have so many series that I've been really enjoying that I've started, that I'm slowly making my way through this last couple of years, and I am trying really hard to make sure that I finish them because I do want to. It's not that I don't want to finish the series that I've already started. It's that I get that oh shiny syndrome so easily with books, and I want to try all the authors and all the series. And sometimes I need to just dial it back a little bit. So in this video, I chose 5 books that are starting new series and 5 books that are going to be continuing series that I'm really wanting to make progress in the next year to maybe a little bit longer, but essentially the next year. I did make a video last year also about my priority series for the year of 2025-ish, and I've actually been making some decent progress on that, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. And there are a couple of repeats on this video from that one, just because, shock of all shocks, I couldn't read all of the books this year. But I have some new ones on this list, and I'm very excited to kind of do an updated version of my priority series. So let's start with the brand new series that I would really like to start in the year 2026 or a little bit beyond. And the first one on the list is The Dagger and Coin by Daniel Abraham. You guys know that I have absolutely loved The Long Price Quartet, also by Daniel Abraham, in the last couple of years. It is now one of my favorite series of all time, and I cannot wait to read more by this author because the way that Daniel Abraham crafts these massive epic stories in a way that feels like you're reading a masterclass in writing literary fantasy, it's a beautiful thing, and I've never experienced anything like it. I love it so much. Please go read The Long Price Quartet. His work with magic systems is so unique and interesting, and he plays on so many of the tropes and themes that I love to read in fantasy, like friendship and generational decisions impacting future events. It's amazing, and I'm really hoping that I enjoy Dagger and Coin as much or more as Long Price Quartet, and I have a lot of optimism for that because most of the people that I've talked to that have read Dagger and Coin really love it, and some of them even have loved it more than Long Price Quartet, which kind of blows my mind because Long Price Quartet is so good. So I do have all 5 of the books in the Dagger and Coin series on my shelves. I would love to read the entire series next year, which might be a little ambitious, but hey, let's shoot our shot, right? So Dragon's Path is the first one. This is a high priority for me in the year 2026. Next up is a book that I have held up on a lot of TBR videos, and I'm going to hold it up again because at some point it's going to happen. And I feel very strongly that 2026 is the year. This is also a very high priority read for me in 2026 because I feel ready. I feel like I have been training for this moment. And that is The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien, which I know some of you think that I should turn in my fantasy card because I haven't read Tolkien. I've read The Hobbit. I read The Hobbit last year, so I have read Tolkien, and I did try to read The Silmarillion back in college, and I did read about 2/3 of it, I think, before my brain just couldn't handle it because I was a college student. I have been waiting for the right moment to read this series, and I keep feeling like it's just not the right time. This last few months, you guys, I have felt a pull toward this series that I've never felt before. I am so excited, and I feel like I'm ready to just dig into this experience, to go into it without expectations, without any preconceived ideas. And as somebody who grew up and was heavily influenced by the films, I just felt like I wasn't quite at a point where I was ready to go into the story in book form with the right headspace, if that makes sense. And I feel so ready. I am so ready to read these books. I am so excited. You guys have no idea. 2026 is the year. I'm saying it right now. I can't wait to read these books. I think it's going to be an amazing experience, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. Next up is a series that is probably one of the most commonly recommended books series for me specifically in the last 2 years on BookTube. I have so many friends who keep coming after me and being like, Tori, you are going to love this book. And that is The Final Architecture by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is a sci-fi motley crew spaceship saga that I can't wait to sink my teeth into, honestly. Adrian Tchaikovsky is an incredible writer. I have read several of his books prior to this and really enjoyed his writing style. One of the things that I really appreciate about Adrian Tchaikovsky as an author, and this is something that I also aspire to do with my own books, is that he's not going to let himself be boxed in as an author. He is willing to write in so many subgenres of sci-fi, of fantasy, and he does an amazing job at all of them. And I really aspire to that. It's amazing. I love to see an author who wants to try different styles of storytelling, different worlds, different subgenres, and just play. And I think that's amazing. And the crazy thing is he's good at it all the time from what I've read so far and what I've heard. So I'm very excited to get to Shards of Earth, which is book 1 in The Final Architecture, because I just feel like this is going to check all of the sci-fi boxes I've been looking for in the last couple of years as I've been getting more into the genre. And I can't wait. So to all of my friends who are patiently, some not so patiently, waiting for me to get to this series, I promise that I'm going to be highly prioritizing this in 2026, and I honestly can't wait. All right, guys, next up is an older series that I am hoping to start in early 2026, potentially as a buddy read with another booktuber who will as yet remain unnamed. And that is Black Sun Rising by C.S. Friedman. This is the first book. I don't even know the series title, you guys. I am a failed booktuber. I believe that this is the first book in a trilogy. I'm pretty sure there's 3 books. And this is an older book that I have heard very highly recommended that does not get enough attention here on BookTube. And you know I am all about underrated fantasy books and series. That is my jam, so I'm very excited to check out C.S. Friedman's work. This is a kind of science fiction fantasy blend from what I can tell. It has colonists from Earth land on this planet and they're trying to establish, you know, some kind of a life here, but the planet becomes very quickly way more deadly than they bargained for, and there are dark kind of fae creatures involved in this story, and I'm really excited to read a book that explores fae creatures in a very different vein than the current trends in romantasy and all of that. So I'm very excited to get to this because I think it's going to scratch that dark fantasy itch, and it's going to be written beautifully. I've heard amazing things about her prose. So yeah, I'm very excited to get to this series, and I hope you guys will also give it a check out because I think that this is one that we definitely don't talk about enough on BookTube. And last but definitely not least, in my brand new series starters for the next year or so, is this chunker, The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. Now, I really want to read The Will of the Many, and I know book 2, The Strength of the Few, just came out, and everybody has been just raving about these books, and I really look forward to reading them. However, my very good friend Casey from the channel Bookishly Bookish has encouraged me to read his first series first so that I can see how Islington grows as an author, because that's something that I really enjoy. Reading multiple books from the same author is kind of seeing their growth journey and seeing the things that they love from the very beginning that transfer into their later works, to see the foundation of them discovering their voice as an author. And I've heard that this is a bit divisive. Some people really love it, some people really bounce off of it pretty hard, but I'm excited to read this. I think that because I'm a more character-focused reader, the sort of nebulous-esque plot that I've heard might be in this book isn't going to bother me as much. I'm really excited about it. I don't know that much about it, to be honest. I know that there are godlike beings that were recently overthrown and humanity is kind of struggling to fill in the gaps, I think. I don't know that much about it, and I've wanted to keep it that way intentionally because I don't know, I feel like this one's gonna be a surprise for me in a positive way. Now, let's get to the 5 series that I want to continue in the next year or so. And these, I'm so excited about these, you guys. It's like when you go back to a room full of old friends, right? When you're going back into a series, you get that fresh dopamine hit with starting a new series, but that familiarity, that nostalgia, that, oh, I know this place and these characters feels so good in a completely different way. I'm really excited to continue all 5 of these. And yeah, it's going to be really important for me in 2026 to make sure that I am continuing series, because that's something that I've noticed I've really struggled with in the last couple of years, because there's shiny new books everywhere, right? But I'm really excited to get to these. The first one, again, you've seen on TBR videos before, and that is Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb. This is my continuing along in the realm of the Elderlings. I read the Farseer trilogy way back when, really enjoyed it. I tried Live Ship Traders last year. That was one of my priority series for 2025. And didn't love it. I DNF'd the series, that trilogy specifically, after Ship of Magic. You can watch my video about it. And to all of the people who are like, oh my gosh, you have to read all 3 books. You cannot move on without them because you have to know certain things. I know the things, guys. I promise it's going to be okay. And I just can't wait to get back to Fitz and the Fool in this series. And I think this is going to go a lot better than Live Ships did. I just don't know that I see myself returning to that trilogy, but I'm really excited to continue on with this one. And I have heard that the final book in this series specifically is phenomenal and is just going to wrench my heart out, which is very a la Robin Hobb, so that doesn't surprise anyone, but I'm really looking forward to that. So this is shifting from my 2025 priority list to my 2026 priority list, and I think enough time has gone between my experience with Live Ship Traders and reading this one that I feel a lot more excited to dip back into this world and see what Robin Hobb has for us in Tawny Man. All right, next up, one of my favorite indie fantasy books I talk about all the time is Seasons of Albidown by Christopher Warman and Elon Marche, who is they are an amazing couple who write together, and they're phenomenal storytellers. And their series, In the Eighth Chant, continues on with A Contract in Sol Forn. There's now a 3rd book out in the series, which I also have, and I have been wanting to continue in this world for ages, and I feel like I'm writing it in stone. It's gonna happen. I'm really excited about this one. It takes place in the same world, but a completely standalone compared to the first book, Seasons of Albidown. In this book, we meet Valen, who's our character on the main cover, and she has a contract that she's trying to find an artifact that she's been apparently enslaved to. She runs across a young nobleman and they become friends and get into trouble, is what I'm assuming is going to happen, and I am really excited to continue on. This world is very intriguing. It has that kind of dark fairy tale, Grimm's fairy tale vibe mixed with a little bit of Studio Ghibli, which is very cool. I love the kind of tone and atmosphere of this series a lot. So I'm really looking forward to continuing on with books 2 and potentially 3 in the very near future. Next up is Miss Percy's Travel Guide to the Welsh Moors and Feral Dragons. This is the 2nd book in the Miss Percy series by Quenby Olson. And I read the first one earlier this year, I think, or end of last year. Really enjoyed it. It is for fans of cozy fantasy who want a little bit more depth, a little flavor of Jane Austen era setting, and a middle-aged protagonist named Mildred who accidentally hatched a dragon in the first book. That's not a spoiler, it's on the back of the book. And adventures ensue, and adventures far beyond what Mildred ever thought she would get to do in life as a middle-aged spinster. And I love the characters. The cozy fantasy vibe is one that I really struggle finding a place in. It's something that I don't connect to as easily as other parts of the genre. But this series really, I just had a great time with it, and I'm really looking forward to continuing with book 2 and potentially book 3, which is the finale of the trilogy. Highly, highly recommend this to all of you cozy fantasy lovers out there because it's a fabulous series. Next up, you guys know that I have been falling deeper and deeper this last year into my obsession with Terry Pratchett's Discworld. And I'm going to be finishing the City Watch sub-series in 2025, which is amazing. I have loved every single moment of my experience in that story. It's also breaking my heart a little bit because I will have read them all and I won't have a new City Watch book to read after that, and I'm really kind of sad about it. But I am going to be continuing with his Death Cycle sub-series. I did read Mort this year, I think, early this year. Really enjoyed it. It wasn't quite to the level of the City Watch for me. However, I'm really looking forward to continuing on in the series and getting another sub-series of the Discworld under my belt. Death is such a phenomenal character. He's kind of sprinkled across all of the Discworld books, and I just love him. And I'm really excited to see how the atmosphere is a little bit different in this sub-series, what characters Terry Pratchett is going to cook up around the character of Death. And book 2 is Reaper Man. I think there's 6 books in the Death Cycle. I think. There were 8 in the City Watch, so it's going to be a breeze getting through these after that. And they're also a little bit shorter. So this is another series that I am really looking forward to continuing within the Discworld, and just, I'm gonna need something to help wrap me in a blanket and pass me a hot chocolate and pat me on the head after I'm done with City Watch, because it's gonna be a very sad day. And last but not least on my continuing a series stack is The Songs of Chaos by Michael R. Miller. Michael is a friend of mine, an author friend of mine, and he's really, really done something special with the Dragon Rider subgenre, which, if you guys know me and been around my channel for a while, it takes a lot to convince me when it is a sort of chosen one vibe Dragon Rider fantasy, because that doesn't usually speak to me. I love what he's done in this series. The magic bond between the dragon and rider is like kind of scientifically explained, and it actually makes sense, because in most Dragon Rider books, you kind of have to ask the question, why are the dragons here? Why are the dragons taking orders from these tiny little scrawny humans that they could swallow in one bite? And I mean, you could kind of make the emotional bond argument, sure. But what I love about this series is not only do we have the emotional bond between dragon and rider, but we have a very specific symbiotic relationship between our main character and his dragon, and also just in general. And the way he explains it, the magic system that he's utilizing in this series, is really interesting. And also, it's just a really fun, classic Dragon Rider romp. I really enjoyed the first book, Ascendant, last year, and I really want to continue the series with book 2, Unbound. I also have book 3 on my shelves. I did read the 1.5-ish or 0.5 novella this year, The Last Stand of the Stone Fist, and really enjoyed that. So I'm looking forward to jumping back in with Unbound, and I have these absolutely stunning hardcover editions of them, and I love the cover for this one. The blues always speak to me. I love them. So if you're looking for a fantastic Dragon Rider fantasy with a really cool and well-explained magic system, check this out. So that is an ambitious priority series list for next year, but I'm feeling really good about it. I'm really excited about each one of these books and series, and trying new authors and continuing with authors that I've been really enjoying in the last couple of years. And I want to know down in the comments below, what series are you excited to start? What series are you excited to continue that are on your TBR right now? Give me a list. I love seeing what you guys are into, reading, excited about, and I hope you are having a fantastic week. I hope that you're reading 5-star reads, and I will see you in the next video.